hear the news that you're on tour and that you're on the road. How happy are you about that?
Oh, really, really happy actually, because it's been a while because of the pandemic. So yeah, it's good to be back on tour.
I'm very interested in hearing your opinion about that, because you are, I don't know if it's fair to say that you're not only a musician or a composer, but a performer, and you go live and you go and perform in front of the audience, and that's been part of your music for so long. So I guess the pandemic gave you this forced opportunity to rethink things, to change things. How was it for you? What can we expect for this new Yann Tiersen?
How was it? It was a bit long. It is good to be able to work more deeply into, like especially for the gigs, because like so much time passed by, between gigs, because I only did like 3 gigs actually.
Wow.
2 years, and I'm not used to that. So it's just like, I spent so much time working on the live version that it became like a new album, and I just went really, really far from the previous album, Kerber, and just like actually create another one, working for the shows, and transforming everything, and yeah, doing something else. And it's just really pleasant, and it's yeah, it's been a really hard in a way, because I love touring, and even if I live in a beautiful place and on a small island, it's yeah, it's just hard not to go on tour. But I just like, take more I don't know, so it's a good opportunity to go deeper in the thing and to take decisions. Like, for instance, it's a full electronic show, and it was what I wanted to do. And like having that much time to work on the live version, it's like made me realize that, and working on that.
Mm. And now that you are going on tour, that you're gonna be in Mexico, in the US and Canada, etc., are you expecting like the music to be completed? Are you, I don't know, I've always been curious about the way you work with the audience. Does your music and the show changes after the feedback, after the reaction?
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially this gig is like, just like got the album version. It's really close, because but it's really open to improvisation, and I will be on stage with Emily, my wife, and with Yann Tiersen, and we start to rehearse next week. Like, I mean, yeah, the end of this week actually, and I really want the shows to be really open, and to have, there is a more beat orientated, like side of the gigs, and want us to work on a really ambient side of the show as well, and that we can shift to total like improvisation and deep listening or whatever, and so it can, like, be in like more after party club, or like ambient, like meditation. So that's quite open, and we got the videos as well. So that's to be, that's and it's live. Sam is with us and doing live. So I wanted to be open, and then like to be flexible, and to share that with the audience. Depends of what happened.
It sounds very playful and very fun because it sounds like every show it's really gonna be different or could be different.
Yeah, I mean, that was like kind of the lesson of the pandemic as well, you know, like being at home that much. That makes going on tour more special, and actually I want to have fun with it and to to try things, because if not, you know, there is no point going on tour.
Right.
So it makes everything more dense and more like, you know, with no concession, but like more open.
More of a party, we could
Yeah,
say.
as well. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I was curious also about the fact that you're on an island, as we know now, and you've been for a while, and maybe an island is the closest thing to isolation and to the lockdown of the pandemic, because it's, you know, it's secluded. It's a place more quiet than the big cities or the big landmarks. Did it help at all? Was it easier, if we can say that, for you to be there for the pandemic?
Yeah, I think it's. I don't see islands as something isolated. To me, like what's important on island is what surrounded it, and that's the sea. And the
Mm.
sea is like, you know, the water is the element of life, and it's also something that connects everything, and you can feel it, you know. It's
Yeah.
moving, it's dangerous, it can be warm, it can be cold, and it's just a link, a direct link, that you can feel it from a place to another. And so I think that was a real like plus. And I was feeling connected during the pandemic because of this link,
Right.
because of the sea, and because that even if you don't do it, or even if you can't do it, you just like a sea is like a call to travel, you know. You just have to jump on a boat, and then you can, you know, go around the world. I mean, it takes training and it's a bit risky, but you can do it. I mean, and since the dawn of, like, it's always be there, you know, and people like always risk their life to travel around the world by sea. So I think it's yeah,
Mm.
it's not an isolation. It's just like an open door to everything.
Well, maybe you were in the perfect spot then, because yeah, like the ocean, the nature, everything, but humans, I guess, didn't care about the pandemic. The life was still the same for the ocean, I think.
Yeah, even maybe better actually. But yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because of less human activities. But yeah, yeah.
I love the background uh, that you have for us.
Yeah.
How can you keep up with all that?
Well, I mean, uh, you know, it's geeky.
You've always loved to, you know, to be on top of it, to play with new instruments, technology, as you know, as nature. So what is new these days? What are you playing with these
I,
days?
I'm really at the moment into electronics and modular in particular, because I just realized that I'm always doubtful about, you know, um, inspiration and too much of like human engineering or um, with music. And I think, you know,
Mm.
like for instance, piano is a perfect example of um, barbaric forces to bend a piece of wood and to put like extreme like constraint on strings and everything, just to make everything like playing a temperate like scale, and that's really kind of artificial. And what I love with electronic is like it's electricity, and even if like there's lots of human involvement in it, it's something wild and close to nature, because you can't really master it, you know. It's it's alive, and it's electricity is a life thing, and it's quite, you know.
Yeah. Do you try at all to master it, or just go with it?
Go with it. I try. It's always I try like to to just like deal with things, but not try to master it.
Yeah. Thank you very much. This has been great. Like I
Thank
said,
you.
a lot of expectation. One last question that we like to do to everyone that speaks to us. Like, are you reading something? Is there anything that you read in the last couple of months that you would like to talk about us and tell us about?
No, I mean, I'm just like learning. So I'm learning mechanics and, you know, like stuff like on boats and everything, or really modular stuff, manuals. So it's a bit boring. Or it's what I'm reading for recreation at the moment. It's more like a voyage, and you know, that's maybe because of the pandemic, but it's more like you know, I love slow traveling. I love riding bikes, and and sailing and stuff. So I just like read some around the world trip and voyage literature at the moment.
Your way to travel during the pandemic, we could say.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Is it different for you to travel for work, like now, like to perform, than for vacations? It becomes the same.
Yeah, of course, but yeah, normally, you know, I really need and love being in nature. But as I'm living on a kind of natural place, I'm quite for the really excited to have a small shot of city life, actually. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's the opposite for a city person to go to an island, to the beach, and
Yeah,
it's like, oh, cannot wait to to see the traffic and the chaos and all that.
yeah, or more to do gigs, and you know, like to see people. You know,
Or
be good.
I imagine that you expect a different kind of audience and people after, because the people during the pandemic have also, waiting for shows and waiting for live music and all that, and it's coming little by little. So maybe
Yeah,
you're
I
different.
mean, I did a gig in Transmusical in December, and it was so good, and yeah, the energy was really high, and on both sides actually. So yeah, I hope it will be like that.
All right. Yeah, well, thank you very much again, and much of love. Wait to see you live. Have a great day.
Yeah, cool. You too. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.